After a series of experiments, I found the formula for getting absolutely perfect bridges. In my last video, I demonstrated a few parameters that got us almost there, but there was this hideous part of the unsupported bridges that I just could not get rid of. The journey to a solution started with this comment on my last unsupported bridge video. Victor suggested filming the print with a macro camera and open door. I don't really have the equipment to do that perfectly, but I started up another test model and gave it a look with the tools that I do have. The problem with those first few lines immediately became obvious. The difference in gloss gives a hint, but it is not a speed or temperature problem. As this commenter points out, I did not fully think through the hypothesis mentioned in the last video, because I did not realize that the bridge lines printed on top of the walls flatten out and push into the adjacent lines, but now with extra flow. This creates an effect where too much filament is placed onto these lines and the resulting mess gets pushed up into the hot nozzle, creating this glossing effect and the extra goop that you can see in these pieces. Thus, a new hypothesis presents itself. If we reduce the flow for those first few lines, then they will not over extrude and push filament into the hanging bridge lines. I'll show you how I did that in two ways. The first was less scalable, but it teaches a few fundamental lessons. The problem is with the extrusion of those first few lines, so it seemed like I could just hack together low flow bridge lines on walls and high flow bridges. Orca Slicer provides the easiest way to do this because it lets you export the G code. Then I went to the exact lines that encode the extrusions over the first few wall lines and just copied the variables from the standard flow into the high flow G code file. Then exported that onto an SD card, put it into the X1C, and hit print. The results were immaculate, absolutely perfect bridging. So now we know that the principle is correct and we can reason from there. But how does the solution become usable for everyone? That's when I thought back to these comments. They all mentioned using modifiers to create some customized print behavior. The easy solution is to place a very small cube modifier equal to about one wall width and one wall length. Height, in this case, doesn't really matter because the lines above the bridge are of a different type. Then, with the modifier highlighted, go to this object and turn the bridge flow down to 1 or lower. I do this for both walls just to be safe. Finally, when you print this, the results are as close to perfect as I've seen. For those of you who have watched until the end, I have two questions for you. Do you want a third part of this series that will be a comprehensive video that covers every bridge question you have? Many of you like short videos, but I'm not sure that I can answer all of those questions in under 10 or 15 minutes. The other question is, what are the next print quality fundamentals that you want me to cover? I was thinking about overhangs, but I want your feedback on that. Thanks for watching.